Hi everyone. My name is Victor, and I'm working at the French Dakar Institute. And we're really glad to have with us these five studios that have created some games in Africa. And we wanted to address what type of games to conquer the African market. And in order to do that, I would really like to present you a platform that we've created with the Kaifo Game Studio, which is Afro Game Immersion. Afro Game Immersion is an initiative that will, in time, valorize as much as possible the different games that are created in Africa. Today, we have different countries, different type of games, and it would be with pleasure that we will discover them thanks to the platform. So the platform is real simple. It's a platformer, which is mobile, and you can go through the universe with your small character. This year, the platform has been designed to represent the city of Dakar, because we are at the French Institute of Dakar. But next year, maybe another country will host the Afro Game Immersion, or in the various months that are to come, we will have this other universe. So we will discover the first game that we have selected in the platform. We have 7 games today, and the first one is, when I enter this first door, Kawaida's Journey from the studio Cultural Games, that is represented today by Kolja Bopp, which is the CEO of Cultural Games. Hello, Kolja.
Hello.
How are you?
Very fine. Thanks very much for inviting me here. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Sure. Hi, Kolja.
Yeah, okay, great.
Perfectly. And so would you even tell us, like, what was the first initiative of Kawaida's Journey? Why you have created this game?
So it's kind of personal story because I lived for 1 year in Tanzania on Zanzibar Island, and I worked there, and I made a lot of friends, and I experienced a very rich culture and also living experience, which is not really known in Germany or even European countries, because all the information we have is coming from the mass media news, and it's mainly about catastrophes and bad things. So when I came back, even some friends of mine, they asked me, "Oh, okay, you've been in Africa, and how was it there? And all the people are poor, and all the people are suffering," and that's not true. So what we try to do with the game is to attract some attention on the Swahili culture. So in this case, especially for East Africa, for Tanzania, or even Kenya, and to show a more differentiated view of the daily life and the stories. And so our game is mainly for children and the youth, and it is about a small vervet monkey who is trying to find his family, and is taking you on a journey through Tanzania. So level by level, you experience some of the really existing places. You're visiting really existing places, and we have a small encyclopedia implemented in the game, and there you can get some background information about the environment, about certain places, and about some cultural aspects. But so in my view as a game researcher and a game designer, gameplay has to be in the first place. So our game is not a serious game or learning game. That's why we have invented the name cultural game, because it is a fun gameplay experience. But on the way, when you're traveling Tanzania, you can get some site information, and if you want, you can get more background information, because we linked Wikipedia articles to our topics in the encyclopedia. And we also put in some as gameplay challenges, some sustainability issues like deforestation, plastic trash, and music and traffic, so all different kind of cultural and ecological topics. And yeah, I can also say, yeah, it's a personal story, and because I lived there, and my little roommate was a small vervet monkey, and his name was Kawaida. And Kawaida means normally, naturally. And I think this is a really great term for our approach in the game design for this project, because we don't want to have yeah, maybe experience some negative things or stuff like that. We want to create it a fun game with a nice and fun experiences. And in making the game, we were worked hand in hand with um, artists, musicians, and developers from Tanzania, and non-profit organizations.
Excellent. That's a really great job. So we are seeing the concept art on the screen, and so what I understand from your game is a way of changing mindsets, a way of attracting the youth into a game. And do you know, like last question is second and last question to have time for everybody. Do you have lots of downloads in Tanzania? So people that are rediscovering or re-exploring their country through the game?
Unfortunately not. So I hope your platform will bring some more traffic.
Okay, no, that's perfect. So that's the way it should work. This whole platform began with also a concept that in Africa or in Africa, given a study that we followed, Africans are not don't are not aware that so many games exist and so many good games exist representing their own countries. We say Africa, but it was for Senegal and Ivory Coast, and so we really want to promote those games to the African or African market. So many thanks.
Thank you very much.
I'm moving towards the platform again, and so we're moving.
And if I could add just one thing, you can also find a picture of the real Kawaida in the credits of the game. So if you download the game and look to the credits, you can see the real living Kawaida, and it's made in loving memory.
Okay, that's cool.
We'll no royalties paid in bananas or something.
And so we have as a second game, a game which is called Asantewa, which is a 2D platformer made by Jesse, which is with us. Who is with us? He's from Ghana. How are you, Jesse?
I'm good, and you?
Very fine. And so, can you tell us a bit more about the game and why you have created it? It's like a second adventure action game that we have in the platform. So it's quite the same, but with more of a warrior and a queen story inside it. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about it.
Well, exactly. It's a combination of all of that, actually. So it's a simple 2D platformer adventure game about a warrior, a brave woman warrior or a queen warrior called Asantwa, who actually lived in the past. So this game is actually based off a true event or past event. So it talks about a brave warrior who had to fight and rebel against the British colony. This is somewhere in the 1900s to prevent them from taking away their sacred golden stool. And this tool is believed to be the soul of the people of the Ashanti Kingdom. So, and it's made entirely of gold, and it was conjured from the heavens by their chief priest. So, I mean, the British at the time wanted to take this away, but she was the only brave person who stood up to the British to prevent them from taking the golden stool away. So it's a retell of her story in the form of a 2D platformer game.
Okay, and it must have been really exciting to have a female character too in terms of like main characters. Really nice to have that, and I really really appreciate it. And I really found this game really exciting in the all the universe that it has. Maybe can you tell us more about like the beginning, the launch, the publishing of the game? How did it go? Was it like well received by the market? How did it went?
Well, it actually went well. We had a launch. So this wasn't just a game; it was a game and a comic book actually. So we put it out there as, yes, in the form of a game and a comic book. So I have the comic book here. I don't know if you can all see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So we had a launch and we put it out there, and people really, loved it. It was all over, the online media pages when we put it out, and blog sites were picking it up and sharing and all of that. So we realized people really love the fact that they were seeing a game like this, which they don't see more often, where they're seeing a character that they all seem to know about and they can relate with, translated in a form of a video game or a mobile game that they can play and have fun with. So people really accepted it very well.
Okay. Many thanks, Jesse, for being here, and we will broadcast this conference so that we can have more viewers, maybe not only in Ghana but also in all the surrounding countries. Maybe you have something to add, or we can move to the next game.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, hopefully this platform, like you're saying, would help get more downloads for our game, because we don't really have so much downloads because there's not so much out there yet. But hopefully a platform like this would help, put the game out there. And the whole idea or vision behind it was to use this to tell the African story and to change the whole narrative. Like Kolja was saying at the beginning, when people think of Africa, usually what comes to mind is, comments or reports about crisis, about corruption and all of that, which in some ways are true. But gradually we can tell that the narrative is shifting or is changing. And these days the conversation is more of technology, urbanization, innovation and all of that. That's the new Africa. And this is our little, contribution that we're also doing to help change the narrative and make Africa, as it should be. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much. We're going out of your studio in the platform, and this is becoming to be a bit more tricky because we are going to the clouds to this other studio, which is really known. They have been excused and they couldn't be part of our panel today. But Kiro Games developed the game Lorraine, which is a mix between Teams and Quantum Dream. So it's you are a person going into an administration and trying to climb up the administrative ladder and trying to become more and more independent. So it's a really fun game, and with a mindset which is quite different from the others. And I think they could have had many things to tell us about how to address the market, because they have proposed a content that is quite innovative. So you can discover it in the platform too. And they're coming from Cameroon, and this is the part where we are. No, and back down. All right. So there's another door up of that building, and we're going to discover another game, which is Clean My Beach by Kaifo. So I have to say that we're really proud to have Kaifo in the platform, such as long as they have developed and designed the platform. I really appreciated working with them. And so Julien, which is with us, could maybe tell us a bit more on this Clean My Beach game that they developed from Senegal.
Hi everyone, thank you, Victor. Thanks for having us. Yeah, so Clean My Beach is a game about environment protection, about climate change, but a dramatic fact that you can withdraw every time you go to the beach in Senegal. It's full of plastics, of microplastics. Sometimes, you know, I have kids, and sometimes I will not allow them to go swim because the ocean is too polluted. So it all comes down to this dramatic fact, and we wanted to talk about it, to raise awareness about this situation that is not normal. But in a fun way, in a way where, you know, players could have fun with nice and enjoyable graphics, and with a nice gameplay as well. So it's a mobile game. It's inspired by popular titles with you know, a mechanic of so the player will be actually in charge of cleaning the beach by throwing the waste that is lying on the sand on the beach into trash bins, and doing that he will restore the natural ecosystem, and animals will come back gradually on the beach, and also everything that the player collects will be available to put in a machine and recycle it into new objects. Nice, nice, Kolja. So it's a fun game about a dramatic topic that is trying to reach out to mainly young crowd, and to deliver a simple message is that everyone can do something about it. This situation is not normal. You can, you know, grab some plastic on the beach and put it in a trash. You can bring your plastic to a company that will recycle it. There are things you can do. So we wanted to turn that in a video game, and this is how Clean My Beach was born.
And so if I can complete what you said, and maybe the other speakers can interact with us, but from what Kolja said, we were both on a really young audience, trying to give them the tools to open their mind on their country, on their traditions, and on their assets. And so it's a really good way to give them some insights and everything. So really congratulations for that, and it's really a big pleasure to have this game into the platform.
Thank you, Victor.
I have to say that the platform itself, you can discover the studio, but you can also contact the studio. So we have integrated a link directly to give feedback on the game, or maybe contact the studio. Maybe if you like the designs, you can contact them if you like it, or anything. And then on the screen, you can reach what we call the Mamelles in Dakar. The translations in English, I don't have it. And so we're coming back to Football Games because I changed the platform. So I'm going back to the beginning with History Gaming from Natasha Chiwara, who is with us, coming from Zimbabwe, and that developed this battle of emojis in the platform. Do you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well. Can you hear me?
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to tell us a bit more on this snack game that you developed, why you created it, how you did it, and what is the, how to say, the reception from the market that you've observed from now.
Okay, so firstly, phase three, I created it. The first motivation is that I generally love games. So then I also love emojis, and I believe that many people really love emojis. So when I wanted to create something different because emojis are seen on social media platforms and they help us communicate. But then I wanted to integrate them into my game as something that's different. And the difference is that on pastry, my emojis are actually warriors and they have fury hats and they are fury hats, and I just love the way I designed them to enable people to see a difference, like emojis, general emojis. Are just general emojis, but I designed them in such a way that they are warriors. They have they are in a battle. They want to save other emojis because the goal of the game is to make sure that they save emojis which are trapped by the cells. So the goal in the game is to make sure that you match all emojis before the timer hits zero so that you escape the cells. So the warriors of the game are the main characters. And there's also the other part of the game whereby I made sure emojis fall out of the sky, and a user can actually tap them in order to make sure that they escape the cells without being detected. And basically, I feel like the battle for phase three was something that I wanted to show to the world, like just getting my imagination into the world. Like I needed my own game to just, dominate the market and also to motivate other people like girls and women who want to start gaming and history being a starting point in order to show people you can actually do it in Africa and you can make your own games and all that. So history has been actually I'll just say stepping stones as I said before and to be honest, it was difficult making it, but I believe that with time it's going to be greater than it is right now. So that's basically what phase three is all about.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
fun game. Actually, yeah, I've tried it and it's kind of complicated, but you can with mobile. It's really fun. You've had like many downloads. Did you have had some feedbacks from your audience, from the community that has the game?
So yeah, I have had like 200 downloads or so. But then I've had feedback from people. For example, if there are areas in the platform, they tell me, and I actually got a lot of feedback when I actually updated the game when I added like the spider cell. That's another part of the game right now. When I added that part, people are like, even young kids can now play the games like in the spider cell. People are now playing that part and they're enjoying it. They're saying it's easier now and it's for all age groups. And I even
Okay,
tested it on a little kid, and he actually enjoyed it that part because they can actually easily navigate through the game by themselves on that part of the game. And the older population can also play the three matching game. So I believe that it satisfies a large part of the population, even kids, even older people. So I really feel like it's really
okay. Thank you very much. I think
okay.
in the selection of the only it's not games such as I would say Candy Crush or something. It was interesting to have this one too, and it might be also the only one which is not talking about, let's say, African traditions and everything. It's like only emojis, so it's pure, I would say, digital product. Because we need to have that also. So many thanks. So we're leaving your studio, which was here, and going to. We're moving as quickly as the taxi. Just to say the speed of the Dakar are really slow. And we are in Kenya with Uziku Games, with the J Shapiro, which is with us, and has developed the game that he will give us a bit more information on. It's also a platformer, a bit like Jesse's Asantewa, but I would like to have a bit of his feedbacks on the game and.
Thanks. I'm delighted that our little studio in the game is the beach hut. We got the nicest property in the in the property.
Yeah, Michel has the best.
So thank you. I'm delighted to be amongst so many sort of talented game studios from across Africa. We're definitely of the belief that when you talk about games in Africa, that Africa doesn't exist. We're made up of 54 different countries and so many different cultures. And a big part of what we try and do at Asiku Games here in Kenya is to create games that celebrate those different cultures. And so we're working our way around the continent. We created actually, like Jesse, we created one celebrating the Ashanti Kingdom using Adinkra symbols in the game. We had another one from Turkana. And then the one that you see here today is celebrating the Maasai warriors that you see across Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. And what we try and do is to create games that have a gameplay modality that feels familiar to the player, but then we give it a little bit of local spice. So in the case of this game, it's platformer, very sort of Super Mario kind of style, but it's really a celebration of the Maasai culture. And so Calvin Lichungu is one of our designers. He did all of the illustrations that you see in the game. I think he did a fantastic job capturing what the Maasai warrior culture is. And essentially, you work your way through the platform collecting cattle bells, because cattle are the form of wealth inside the Maasai culture. You're also collecting bead jewels that also adorn the women as a symbol of wealth within the culture. The enemies that you're fighting are sort of the witch doctors that are common in the culture, as well as the black ravens that are seen as sort of evil or bad symbols. And then the final boss is a large red bull that again comes from the cultural legends within the Maasai Kingdom. And so this is a great example of one of our games that tries to capture an individual culture, exploring it, celebrating it, and then sharing it with our players across the continent. All of our games like this one are HTML5, so you can play it within this platform, but also on any smartphone or PC or tablet, that sort of thing. Nothing to install, nothing to download.
That's wonderful, and I really appreciate that. We given this question that was what type of game to address, conquer, to the African or every African market. I think we are more talking about these local markets that are keen on playing games that are presenting their local culture, and as one of the main aspect that we can have 3 games with an action adventure gameplay, talking about different traditions. It's a totally different game because it talks to different persons on out of the. So thank you very much, Jay, for being in this platform, having you. Moving the last, I have to go on full screen because the really complicated part to go towards Nokema because it's one Nokema studio. So you have to take the don't go to the water and go to this beautiful to discover this last but not least studio, which is we have Michel with us to talk a bit about Afro Warriors stuff, the previous FEJA dream. And you were talking about a bit about this. What is interesting? One of the first versus fighting game in Africa. Am I right? Maybe you can develop your speech about this game.
Hello.
Hi, Michel.
Yeah, hi. It's a pleasure to be here with you and talk about video games. The creative Nokema, and we found this Nokema Game Studios and joint play games. Nokema Game Studios is currently developing Afro Warriors, a fighting games featuring gods from the African pantheon. And with the game, we try to bring gods from the whole Africa in the project. Gods from Nigeria, gods from Ghana, from Egypt, Morocco, South Africa in the project. So you will you will see those several gods, divinity, and even legends inspired by all those countries. When we start the project, the idea was to create a video fighting games. I grew up playing fighting games like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat, like King of Fighter, and I I always want to create games where we will see African characters well done and environment was the first motivation to release more of the games. You download it on our platform. So we plan to release it on the Play Store during the coming months. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate to end this panel with this game because it's really representing the way we can integrate in a single game all these different cultures, and I really appreciate it. And we can see that it's a different of game that are you? I have a question, but are you concerned about the fact that people are willing or not to consume this type of games, such as fighting games? Do you know if there's like a will of playing those games? We talk a lot about soccer games or driving, but are fighting a type of game that is needed or wanted on the African market? What have you observed on that question?
Okay, I think that we don't need to specify a to have a specific type for Africa. We can build every kind of Africa based on our colors, our ethics, our culture, and in several orientation, we can have games based on football, game on based on racing, on RPG, even hyper casual games, but taking inspiration on Afro cultures.
Okay, this is the important part: is to integrate into the African culture. So it might be the conclusion of the discussion. We have arrived to the end of this platform. I go into the water in order to finalize my. No, we can't go into the water. But I really want to thank every studio which has participated to this session. It was kind of the reveal session of this platform, which is Africa Immersion. We will launch it next week with the full, let's say the full server and everything in order to finalize some of the lab graphic aspects. I think it was a real good pleasure to show you this platform today. And really, Kolja, Jesse, Natasha, Michel, Jay, and Julien, thank you for your time. For addressing this. You can raise your glass of water. I can raise my bottle of water if you want. But cheers to you all, and thank you very much to FEJA for this opportunity, having us on this VMix platform. And I don't know how to end this. We started with the countdown. If we have to do a countdown again, in order to. But hi, everyone.